Well, Karl, Dale, thank you so much for your time today. Just mentioned before, you guys are pretty jet lagged. How excited are you to be at the Glasgow Film Festival?
Yeah, I'm very excited. And it's great. This is, I think, both of our first times here
Yeah.
in Glasgow, and I mean, we haven't been here long, but everyone's been, super warm and friendly. It's exciting.
Yeah, and back in the States, people going, "Where are you going?" I'm going to Scotland. I always wanted to go to Scotland, and I have too. But it's like everybody, "Oh, I've always wanted to go," and now I'm frigging here. And flying in yesterday, I was like, "I can't believe I'm touching down," is because my ancestry dates back to mostly Scots Irish, so it's lovely, and people are lovely, and it's a terrific film festival. We've got so much going on.
This is like a homecoming for you in many ways with your family connections.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I've always known people will go, you're like a little Irish potato girl, aren't you? It's the Jerry, what's the boxer's name? Jerry Clooney years ago. I don't know. I wait tables on him. He goes, "You're a little Irish potato." And I went, "I guess so." You know, um, but it's nice to see other countries besides America, the heritage, the history. That's what I'm most interested in. We're such a young country, and you guys have such ancient, and it's thrilling to be in. You feel like it's very surreal.
Of course, we're here to talk about the G. It's getting its UK premiere at Glasgow Film Festival. Are you guys always excited to watch one of your movies with an audience, or do you prefer to kind of hide in the back until it's finished?
If you want to go first.
Yeah, I do like to observe the audience, particularly if there's several screenings, because then each Q&A is going to be a little different and you can get an idea of what the response is, if they get the humor. And people always get different things. So, no, I like being here. I don't necessarily like for people to know I'm there. So, and I have a hard time sometimes watching myself all the way through the film. It's a lot of big me. But yeah, I'll probably sit in the back and be quiet, and then go do the Q&A and try to sound intelligent.
The
Yeah, I mean, for me, I hate watching my own film again, so that is not something I like to do. But I do like being with the audience. So sometimes I'll stay for a little while and then I'll leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't need to watch the film anymore. I've seen it enough.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
said about 100 times at least, no doubt. There's this great line: if you let your anger out, you'll live longer. Is that a philosophy that you guys adopted during filming when days where things were just not going right on a day of filming?
Oh boy.
Boy.
That is definitely not a philosophy that we adopted during filming. And yeah, I mean, Dale was a total sweetheart to work with, and there was no, just in general, because we had a great crew and a great cast, but there was no yelling on our set, I mean, whether from the director or from anyone else. Yeah, it is a philosophy that my grandmother adopted, and she was the inspiration for this character and for the film, like the first inspiration. Um, so I would say for some people, and I think there's some truth to it, obviously. I mean, you have anger, you either bottle it up or you let it out. But no, that's not it's not how we do on the set.
No, but it is true, and I don't like this, acting cathartic. But we all have a dark side and a deep side, and I have a lot of things that I can become very angry about. Don't get me started on politics, but on his set, it was such a wonderful indie films. Everybody excited to be there. Everybody mostly working for little money with short time, low budget, but everybody wanted to make a good film and were committed and passionate. So, and it was a very calm set. There were no arguments. I might have to go in the closet and shut the door if felt my head spinning because I was full of rage, but I knew I'd get to let it out soon.
And Carl mentioned that obviously, part of the character is based on his grandmother. For you, Dale, did you have any influences on shaping this character, Anne Hunter?
Influences on it?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, Karl and I worked a tremendous amount on it together. I mean, I read the script, was instantly drawn to it because it's a strong, dynamic, complex character, and I've never really gotten to do that except one time before, and this was very different. So we talked about it on Zoom, and then every day we would discuss some of the backstories, just that we needed to know to make it deeper and richer, and yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. The whole thing is, it was collaborative from start to finish. So, I mean, in a way, I mean, an influence, it is like the character is my creation and it is Dale's creation. I mean, it's more than an influence. It's something that is created by multiple people and beautifully embodied by Dale. So yeah, I mean, it was, for me, I would say it was never difficult. It was never a strain working with Dale, and it was just collaborative from start to finish.
You're so sweet to me.
I
I
speak
don't
I speak
deserve
the
it.
truth.
But yet, also, as even though Anne is the quote lead of the film, we had such a brilliant supporting cast. Everybody really good. Everybody listening. Everybody communicating, and that's how I found my groundedness was particularly through Romane, who plays my granddaughter, and helped me make the character richer. When you have great people to work with, it just makes your work better, hopefully. And Rock Fortune, who plays Joseph, Bruce Ramsay, they all working with them helped me find the reality and the truth of Anne. I've played a lot of badasses, and I grew up near the Smoky Mountains, and there were some mountain women that scared the bejesus out of me. So I recall some of those days, and then with elderly parents, I that influence of elders being dismissed is very important. I don't want to be dismissed. I want to be heard when I get older, and hopefully things will change.
I love that bond that you've got with Romane. I think it comes across really well. Did you guys get to spend a lot of time together, before shooting?
No, but they did get to spend a little time together. We were able to do one, I think, or one or two short rehearsals. But this is just the nature of, you know, it's not a big budget. We time was something that we never had, and um we had to have a great cast because we didn't have time to do multiple takes, So yeah, it was very collaborative. Everyone was great, and I'm glad you know Dale mentioned the rest of the cast was also amazing, and they don't always get mentioned because Dale is so great. This film was really like designed from the beginning. It's a showcase role for this lead role. I mean, there's no doubt that was the idea from the beginning, and Dale took that and knocked it out of the park. But she did, you had all those other people who were there and who were also really strong supporting it, So no, it was a team effort. It was good.
It's such a great screenplay, and I love how free flowing and natural the swearing is from Dale's character. Anne, do you guys have any favorite swear words or phrases that you use quite often?
Yeah, I say a lot. I say, "You're a wee yaff." Did I get that? Did I nail that?
That
No.
sounds that sounds about right. Yeah.
All right.
I
Great.
I cuss like a sailor, and I now know. I think I heard my older sister's one of the first words she said was GD. I'm like, God damn it. And then I realized, boy, my parents aren't happy. They say that word a lot, so that's become my favorite cuss word, besides the F word. But they're great expletives, and it certainly helps you get a little bit of that rage out. Uh,
Yeah.
but I have to be careful on sets when I'm working with children because you have the penalty jar, and I owe them a lot of money by the end of shoots. So children, it's difficult with my cussing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I actually swear a lot too, but not really on set. I don't, I think I kind of dial that back on set, but yeah. but I do tend to. I remember the Q&A we did at another festival, and I think a few audience members actually complained after that I was cursing during the Q&A.
Oh, I'm sure I get, because when I get into something, and particularly on set, if I get frustrated with myself and I can't get to it, I will start, and you gotta be careful about who you're offending, but
Yeah.
You guys are going to be home
it's
then.
just a word.
In Scotland and certainly in Glasgow, swearing is just part of our culture,
Yeah.
I suppose. So I don't think there'll be any complaints from the Q&A if you guys maybe let loose.
Yeah.
Good.
Just be wall to wall swearing tonight.
Watch out, baby.
Just that one final question. I know you guys are short on time. Dale, I hope you don't mind me asking. I know you've got a lot of different projects coming up. What can you tell us about Fallout? What can you tell us about your character and that, if anything, of course?
Very little, except that it's going to be a huge, wonderful production. I wasn't familiar with the game myself. I play Ma June, who is only in the first episode, and she's part of the world when they first break out of Vault 13. I'm in the upstairs world, and I'm sort of the junk lady. So it was a great, fun character role, but it is a massive, massive production. I mean, I haven't been on a film. I did Iron Man 3, and this was like 3 times that. Walton Goggins is brilliant in it, and that's really all I can tell you. I'm just in one scene, but I love working, and so I did a few small parts on things last year, and done a nice lead role. And going back and just being a small part of telling a huge story is just as important. So I think people will be blown away by it.
And for you, Karl, are you working on anything else at the moment that you can share and tell us about?
I mean, not that I would sort of announce right now, but yeah, definitely. We're working on a couple of different projects, new features, and yeah, stay tuned.
And also, I was just I did a small role in Kevin Costner's new sweeping saga epic Horizon, which is going to be like a 3 to 4 part series. I'm just in the first one, but another just a small part. But what a chance to be a part of a giant western with him directing. So not as good as Carl.
You can't really go wrong if you get into being a western and playing that sandbox, so to speak.
Yes, playing in the sandbox. I love it.
Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck with the movie's release, and enjoy Glasgow while you're here.
All right.
Thank you. Look forward to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey you guys!